This is Tanya with Rainbow Talk with Tanya. We are at topic number 38. Yes, I am in my twins' bedroom, sitting on the floor recording this video. But I want to share with you my journey to Proverbs 31. I have been studying it lately, and I had been seeking God on how to become more of a Proverb 31 woman. So I began to study Proverb 31, and it started to pose a lot of questions because once I really broke it down, I saw where, okay, Lord, you're saying that, okay, this is Proverb 31, but it looks like Proverb 31 needs to have some money. So, because it's like different things that we are supposed to be doing for our family, just staying ahead of the game in a lot of areas, making sure everybody have what they need even before they need it, just being stocked up, being, secure in different things, making sure everybody is productive, doing stuff, busy, just, and when I really broke everything down, I'm like, my goodness, I was like, okay, Lord, if I need to be doing all these things, I'm gonna need some more resources. So I began to seek God, and He began to put things in my spirit and in my heart, things that He started bringing things to my attention, things that I can just do naturally, the creativity that I have, and fast forward to today, I have started a new business. Um, I am now also an event florist on top of, the social services that I've been doing for the past 18 years. So, and that's really been helping, and it's been really good, but it's wasn't until I started seeking God on how He wanted me to be able to bring in additional funds to be able to walk this thing out, making sure everybody have what they need, ahead of the game, just being ahead of things. And He started bringing things to me, reminding me of things, revealing things that I'm just naturally, talented to do. So He's definitely been supplying that, and so I'm grateful to God for that. So He showed me what to do, the direction to go. He started putting things in place, and we're off to a great start. So I thank God and give God the glory, honor, and praise for that. So what I want to share with you today, Proverb 31, I wanted to just break down some of it, and it's really a lot, but I'm just going to try to break down some of it that really kind of helped me to understand some things. And I am using the message translation. This translation for me with Proverb 31, it really kind of broke things down a little more simpler for me to understand. But the message translation, it does that for me in other areas that I'm studying in. It really helps me to understand. I really prefer the New Living New King James translation is my go-to, New King James. But if I need further understanding, I pull out the Message translation. So I have some notes right here that I'm going to be referring to. So we are going to start with the beginning of Proverb 31. We're just going to try to go through it as quickly and sufficiently as I can. So it's saying in the beginning, it says, "O son of mine," this mother warning her son on the type of women that he should seek after. Um, so, son, I've dedicated to God, talking to her son. Son, don't dilute your strength. Don't exhaust yourself, basically, on finding fortune hunting women, promiscuous women who are shipwrecked leaders. So, off top, she's giving her son wisdom on not to seek after women who are just about the money, you know, because they are shipwrecked leaders. Um, Leaders cannot afford to make fools of themselves, gulping wine and drinking beer. Less hungover, they don't know right from wrong, and the people who depend on them are hurt. So we're saying that leaders are not to conduct themselves in a way where they can't make sound decisions, where they can't have clarity at all times, because the people who depend on them will end up being hurt. Um, Proverbs 31 woman also speaks up for people who have no voice, for the rights of those, for the rights of misfits. So they speak on behalf of the poor. They speak on behalf of the misfit. They speak up and they stand up for the ones that are destitute. This is what a Proverbs woman do. And it goes down to say that a good woman is hard to find and worth far more than diamonds. Diamonds are worth, in this day, millions of dollars. But a good woman is worth far more, far, far more than diamonds. Her husband trusts her without reserve and has no reason to regret it, meaning she doesn't even give her husband a reason not to trust her. Her husband trusts her without reserve, meaning he has no reservation at all in his spirit or his heart regarding trusting his wife. So, in order for that to happen, she doesn't even give him a reason not to trust her. Never spiteful, and she treats him generously. So, generously meaning giving more of what's expected. That's generous. You know, when you're generous with something, you go beyond measure. You go far and beyond. You put a little more work into it. You give a little bit more. It's like adding the cherry on top of something per se. You know, it's generous. You're giving way more than expected. And it says, never spiteful. She treats him generously all her life long. All her life long. All her life long. So we're generously um, treating our husband this way for as long as we're married to him. It says, she shops around for the best yarns and cottons. So in my mind, okay, she shops around. I'm cool with that. I like to shop anyway. So for the best quality. So it may take a little time for us to find exactly what we're looking for, but when we're shopping for quality, that falls into the Proverb 31 woman, because we don't want just any old thing. It says she shops around for quality and enjoys knitting and sewing. So enjoys putting things together, for her family. Wanting quality items for her family. It says that she's like a trading ship that sails to faraway places and bring back exotic surprises. So we may go the extra mile. We may go a little further out to make sure that what we bring back home to our family, it's what's good, it's what's quality, it's what's necessary. It's like we don't just settle with the first thing and just roll with it. We actually take time and go a little further out to make sure what we bring back home to our family, whether it's food, whether it's clothing, whatever it may need, whatever it may be that they need, we take time to do that. She's up before dawn preparing breakfast for her family and organizing her day. I'm still working on that. I'm trying. He's with me. I'm not all the way there yet, but I try. I'm trying. So she's up before dawn preparing breakfast for her family and organizing her day. And it also says that she feeds the help in her home. So even if we have people, we have people to come in and help clean. We have people sometimes to come in and help cook. We have people, so if we have staff, some of us have staff in our homes to help us out, especially if we have a busy career and we're busy, with kids and everything. Sometimes we have to hire people. So we don't treat them like servants. We treat our staff like family. So we feed them as well. We make sure they have what they need as well. That's a Proverb 31 woman. She looks over a field and buys it. Then with the money she puts aside, she plants a garden. Okay, so she looks over a field and buys it. That means that she doesn't just buy the first thing she sees. She examines. She looks. She waits. She she makes sure that it's what she wants. She looks over the field. She doesn't just walk in and walk out and don't even, take time to see what all there is that's offered to her. So she looks over the field and buys it, and with the money she puts aside, savings account, putting money to the side. With the money she puts aside, she plants a garden, investments. Um, if you want to even bring it back down to, just everyday living, you can defreezer. You know what I'm saying? Like putting money in savings, buying enough food, putting it in a deep freezer, maybe like in a garage or a shed, whatever you have, where you can store food. Just making sure we plan ahead and get ahead on some things. Stocking a deep freezer. That's a Proverb 31 woman. Just making sure there's an overflow somewhere where we can get to bring food into our house if we run out, or if we can't leave to go get something. Just making sure we have an abundant supply of the things that we need for our family. So that's part of being a Proverb 31 woman. Um, First thing in the morning, she dresses for work, rolls up her sleeve, eager to get started, and is in no hurry to call quits for the day. So that right there is more like anticipating, working, anticipating doing what you have to do for the family, and in no rush to call it quits for the day. So knowing that our work is good and not complaining. So if a person that's in no hurry to call it quits for the day is someone that's not complaining about having to do the work. So I'm teaching, and I'm teaching to myself at the same time. Okay. So to go further down, it says that she is skilled in the crafts of the home, diligent in homemaking, quick to assist anyone in need, and reaching out to the poor. So skilled in the crafts of the home. Just making sure that everything is in place, making sure everything is where it's supposed to be. Organization. We can really break this down into so many different ways. She doesn't worry about her family when it snows. The winter clothes are all mended and ready to wear. So guess what? In the summertime, we should already be shopping for fall and winter clothes. In the fall and winter, we should already be shopping for the summer stuff. We have to stay ahead with what our family needs for the season. Just being ahead of the game, just using wisdom. Not spending everything that we have, putting some to the side. Savings. We talked about savings a few minutes ago. All of this is a part of being Proverbs 31. Um, she makes her own clothing and dresses in colorful linens and silks. So a lot of us don't really technically make our own clothing, but what I'm understanding from this is that when they make their own clothing, they didn't go and buy everything, to wear. They also were able to utilize what they had and made things. So being creative, using some of the things you already have in a different way, a different style, is being creative with the things that you already have. So it says make her own clothing and dresses in colorful linens and silk, beautiful garments. That's what I translate that to. Beautiful garments. Not well. I know myself. I don't really like dull, boring things. I like to have a little bit of uh, something to pop somewhere. So that's just me. So dresses in colorful linens and silk. Her husband is greatly respected uh, when he deliberates in the city fathers. She designs gowns and sells them, brings sweaters, and she knits to the dress shops and sells them. So basically, this Proverbs 31 woman makes a profit from her creativity. Whatever we're gifted in, whatever we're creative in, whatever talents we have that God has given us, a Proverbs 31 woman will flip that and make a profit off of the gifts and the talents that God has given her. She designs gowns and sells them. She brings them to the shops and sells them. So yeah, so whatever she's gifted to do, she's able to make a profit off of it to be able to go and to get all the things that she need for her home. Her clothes are well made and elegant, and she faces tomorrow with a smile. So her clothes are well made and elegant. A Proverb 31 wears quality things. Quality. That's what well made and elegant means to me. Quality. She always faces tomorrow with a smile. So she feels good. She feels good for her about herself. She feels good. She has high self esteem. She loves herself. She loves what she's doing. She's enjoying. She's enjoying life. She's enjoying being able to provide for her family. When she speaks, she has something worthwhile to say, and she always says it kindly. Says it kindly. Always, always, always says it kindly. Says it kindly. So words carry weight. Words can hurt. Words can cut. Um, but it's one thing when you always have something to say, and you're just talking. But it's another thing when you have something worthwhile to say. So Proverb 31 woman here, it says when she speaks, she has something worthwhile to say. So it says when she speaks. So not all the time are we supposed to be speaking. Not all the time. Sometimes it's good for us to listen. It's good for us to observe. It's good for us to hear people out. It's not good for us to just chop people off when they're trying to speak to us. Um, Sometimes it's just good to just hear people out. But when she speaks, is what the word says. When she speaks, she has something worthwhile to say. So we have to make sure we speak with grace, because it says she always says it kindly. So even if we're all in our emotions and feelings about something, when we respond to people, a Proverb 31 woman responds with grace, and she speaks kindly. She keeps an eye on everyone in her household and keeps them busy and productive, meaning we pay attention to our children, making sure that they're productive, and it keeps them all busy and productive, and meaning they do not eat from the bread of laziness. So keeping our children active and productive, making sure that they don't get so bored where they just fall into other kinds of things that can get them in trouble. When I was growing up, I used to hear people say all the time, an idle mind is a devil's playground. So keeping them productive, making sure they're involved in different things, whether it be extracurricular activities, volunteering work, sports, anything that we can do to keep our children productive. And it says here that we keep an eye on everyone in our household, so we know what everybody's dealing with. We know what we just paying attention, so that if something is off with one of our children, or with our husbands or anything, we'll be able to notice it almost immediately. Just paying that close of attention to everyone in our household. And it goes further down to say, and we're almost done. It goes further down to say, her children respect her and bless her. Her husband joins in with words of praise. Many women have done wonderful things, but you've outclassed them all. Proverb 31 woman have outclassed them all. Charm can be Charm can mislead and beauty soon fades, but a woman to be admired and praised is the woman who lives in the fear of God. So this woman is telling her son, you know, charm can be misleading and beauty can fade away. But the woman to be admired and praised is the one that has fear of God. In the last verse it says, "Give her everything she deserves. Adorn her life with praises." Give her everything. So she's telling her son, when you marry a woman like this, give her everything that she deserves. Give her the finances that she needs. Give her the resources that she needs to allow her to be the blessing that she could be for those around her, those close to her, people in need, homeless people. Give her what she needs so that she can go on to continue to be the best woman she can be, to so that she can continue to be the Proverb 31 woman that she could be. Let her own works praise her in the gates. This really, and this is, I kind of, as you can see, I kind of just hit different points with it. I didn't really go through every verse of it, uh, but I have a better understanding of the sacrifice. I have a better understanding of who we are, how we are to carry ourselves, and I do understand and know, with the responsibility that we have, we, to the things that we need to do, we have to have the resources to do it. And God will open the door. God will show us. God will lead us to the way if we just seek Him and ask Him. And I'm a living witness. I can testify to you. I have done it. I studied this. I read this, and I was like, Lord, I'm like, you talking about, you know, being ahead of the game, and whether it be food, the stuff that people need. And we have a large family. We have a big family, my husband and I. I'm like, Lord, how am I gonna do all this and being ahead like that? I was like, well, Lord, I'm gonna need some extra, little something to. So then He started bringing things to me, dropping things in my lap. Just things just started happening, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this can help with this can help with that, and things have started to fall in place because I sought Him and I asked Him. And the Word of God said, those who need wisdom, let them ask of God. Stop asking everybody, for their opinion, or wisdom in this and wisdom in that. You don't have to go to everybody. Okay, I understand she may be the first lady of the church, but guess what? You can go to God for yourself. You don't have to get people's approval or ask everybody or anybody for any kind of direction. Go to God Himself. Pray and ask Him, and He will begin to show you things. Whether He may speak it, He may give you a dream. He may use people to come to you to talk to you. He speaks in several different ways. You know, so I encourage you to begin to seek God on how to walk in Proverb 31 and so that we can be a blessing to those in need, to the homeless, to not just our family but to other families. How can we invest and save money, and how can we grow our businesses and profit off of our creativity? God has all of this in store for us, but if you don't take the time to just seek and ask Him, sometimes He's just waiting for us to ask, and then He'll just drop it in our laps. The vision. He'll just give us the vision once we ask. So I encourage you to do that. That's a little bit on Proverb 31. Is so much more than that. So much more than that. But that's all we're going to discuss today in Proverb 31.